Okay, so have you ever set a new goal, you're super motivated, only to find yourself right back where you started just a few weeks later? Yeah, me too. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into the real science of why building new habits is so darn hard, and, more importantly, how you can finally make them stick for good.
I mean, look at this stat, an 80% failure rate for New Year's resolutions. That's huge. We all start off with the best intentions, right? But somehow we just fall back into our old ways. And it turns out the reason for this isn't really about personal failure. It has way more to do with how our brains are actually wired.
So, the very first thing we need to do is tackle the biggest myth out there. And that's this idea that success is all about having more willpower. And this is where some really groundbreaking research comes in. It reveals a pretty surprising truth. Those people we look at and think, wow, they have incredible self-control, they're not just gritting their teeth and white-knuckling their way through temptation. Nope. They're actually just masters at building better systems and habits. So right here, this is the crucial mindset shift. We have to stop blaming ourselves for a lack of willpower. Instead, we're going to focus on understanding the real engine that drives our behavior. And you guessed it, it's our habits.
So, okay, what is a habit, really? Let's take a peek inside your brain's autopilot system.
Just think about your day so far. According to psychologist Wendy Wood, a staggering 43% of what you've done today was pure habit. That's nearly half your day. These are things you did on complete autopilot, while your mind was thinking about something else entirely.
So really, habits are just mental shortcuts. You can think of them as your brain's way of saving a ton of precious energy. It creates these little automatic scripts, kind of like a computer program, that just run whenever they see a certain cue in your environment.
All right, now we need to talk about that number you've probably heard a million times, the whole "it takes 21 days to form a habit" thing. Well, it turns out that's a myth. It actually came from a plastic surgeon back in the 60s who was just observing his patients.
So what's the real number? Well, modern research from University College London shows that the actual average time it takes for a new behavior to become automatic is more like 66 days.
But here's what's really interesting and super important to remember. That 66 days is just an average. The research found a huge range. A really simple habit might click in as fast as 18 days, but a more complex one, it could take as long as 254 days. So the biggest takeaway here is you gotta be patient with yourself.
And every single time you repeat a behavior, you are literally rewiring your brain. Think of it like creating a well-worn path in a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier it gets to follow. Your brain strengthens those connections, making the habit more and more automatic over time.
Okay, so now we know how the brain works. The big question is, how do we use this to our advantage? Well, there's a really brilliant and simple technique for this, and it's called habit stacking.
The secret here, which was popularized by author James Clear, is to anchor the new habit you want to do to something you already do automatically every single day without even thinking about it.
And the formula for this is just beautifully simple. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, identify a current habit that's already rock solid. Step 2, choose a tiny new habit you want to add. And step 3, you just link them together with this simple formula. After I do my current habit, I will do my new habit.
So let's look at some real-world examples to see how this works. It could be something like, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for just 1 minute. Or how about this one? After I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. Even something as small as, after I brush my teeth, I will floss just 1 tooth. Or, after I sit down to dinner, I will say one thing I'm grateful for today. See how simple that is?
All right, now to make this strategy really powerful and make these habits actually stick, there are a few final rules we need to follow. Okay, so rule number 1, be super specific. At lunchtime is kind of vague, right? But when I close my laptop for lunch, that's a crystal clear trigger. Next, you gotta match the frequency. You can't stack a daily habit, like meditating, onto something you only do once a week. And maybe most importantly, start ridiculously small. We're talking less than 2 minutes. The goal isn't to transform your life overnight, it's to make the action so easy that you just do it.
And here's a huge piece of the puzzle. The reward has to be immediate. Why? Because when you feel good right after doing something, your brain gets a little hit of dopamine. And that dopamine is what tells your brain, hey, pay attention. Whatever we just did, let's do that again. It's what solidifies the habit loop.
And finally, let's talk about expectations, because this is so important. Remember that 66-day average? It takes time, so you don't have to be perfect. Seriously, missing one day doesn't ruin everything. It doesn't derail the whole process. Just get back on track the next day. This is a process, not a pass-fail test.
All right, let's bring this all home. The most powerful thing you can do is to fundamentally shift how you think about this. It's time to stop being a laborer and start being an architect.
So what does that mean? It means stop trying to force change through sheer willpower. That's the laborer's way. Instead, like an architect, you need to thoughtfully design your routines and your environment so that good habits are the easiest, most natural choice.
And this quote from Wendy Wood really says it all. We form habits based on what's easy and rewarding in our environment. This is that architect idea in action. You want to eat more fruit? Don't hide it in the fridge. Put a big fruit bowl right on the counter where you can't miss it. You want to watch less TV? Make it harder. Unplug it and put the remote in another room. The secret is to make good habits obvious and easy, and bad habits invisible and difficult.
So you see, this isn't just some interesting theory. It's a real practical plan you can start using right away. So I'll leave you with this question. What is one tiny 2-minute habit that you could stack onto your routine starting tomorrow?